Yeah, the ending was great. I think both ends, we got what we finally wanted offensively. They were defending Jason a specific way, and I think that opened the court for everybody else, especially Jalen on that last drive, second to last drive. So took advantage of that, especially with the poor start in the fourth quarter, 15-2 run by them. We figured out and battled back and got our offense going and guarded well when we needed to on that last possession. But defensively and taking it on transition, not calling timeout, I tell the guys all the time, if we have an advantageous position we're in, I won't call a timeout. If I don't like what I see, I'll call it then. But as you know, teams will get matched up and get the lineups they want in the game. Jalen had Dragic on him, and I love what he did. Drew three people, kicked it to Marcus. He drove past two, and we got a wide open shot. So we talk about that all the time. If I don't like what I see, I can still call the timeout and draw something up with a few seconds left.
You stopped after the game. You stopped Jalen, and you said something. Was that because of the way he handled that last possession?
Exactly.
And a lot of the conversation coming into this series was about fourth quarter execution. Seemed like you almost had two fourth quarters. What was it that got you to stop their run and kind of get your composure back?
Yeah, I think we guarded better. Took great shots. It felt like we had some good looks in transition. I mean, we felt a little rushed all game, and we missed some of those. And unfortunately, they got the numbers coming back the other way. So a better offense took away some of their transition in the fourth quarter, but then we guarded better when we had to on the last few possessions. And so Irving made a few tough shots. We went after him on the last possession and did some of the things we've worked on all week. But credit to our guys. They kept battling. Those guys are going to make some shots. I think our offense really helped us get back into it defensively as well.
Ime, how much of a lesson is there maybe not only for this game but just larger in this series when you're going up against Kyrie and KD, that last possession to win the game? All five guys touched the ball to get that layup.
For us, yeah, I mean, as we know, they have two elite scorers. He made some tough shots. We made some mistakes that allowed them to get some of those shots, and so we got to clean that up. Obviously, we guarded Durant extremely well at 9 for 24. They're still going to get their numbers. They're going to get their shots, and they got a bunch of free throws. But for us, I think that's kind of a microcosm of our season. Guys moving the ball, playing unselfish. Jalen could have forced a shot on Dragic. He saw three guys on him, kicked it to Marcus. He could have forced a shot over two guys flying at him. He pump faked it, could have took the pull up and saw Jason cutting. So that's where we've really improved at and kind of came all together on the last possession.
For years, Marcus was always the guy that was willing to take that shot, and at the end, he decides to pass up on it and really push it till the very end to make the pass. I guess, what does that say about just the way he has evolved as a point guard and offensive leader this year?
Yeah, it shows growth, especially for a guy who, made some big threes in the third quarter. He saw the guys flying at him. He still could have took the pull-up, which wouldn't have been a terrible shot, but he's a point guard for a reason. He sees Jason cutting and makes the play, and so I think we've gotten away from the your turn, my turn for the most part, and we enjoy seeing each other succeed and get those assist numbers up. And I'm not sure what we had tonight, but overall, that's who we've become over the last 3 months, and I think that's why we've really improved offensively.
Ime, how big was Al today?
Al is Al, and he does it all the time. I mean, some of the things don't always show up on the stat sheet, but playing 41.5 minutes, we know we have a 3-day break coming up, so we can catch up on the rest and get the legs fresh again. But where he does everything we're asking for, from guarding the bigs, playing in the touch coverage to switching and guarding some of these guys. Had some great contests on Durant late. And then we knew we had an advantage on the glass, especially when they go with their small lineups and they're switching. We can take advantage of that. So we really encouraged him and Tice to go after the offensive boards, and Al was huge. In the third to last basket, he got the put back there. So he had a great night, obviously.
Just about Marcus, Coach, just the way he's evolved as a point guard compared to what you've seen in training camp to now, what are sort of the things that are eye-opening for you?
I mean, I think he's always been an unselfish guy that can initiate the offense, and he's wanted the ball in his hands. I think his recognition and our recognition of how to use him with our other guys that score the basketball has improved throughout the year. We put him in better positions than we had him in earlier in the season, but he's learning to play off Jason and Jalen and also learning how to distribute and find these guys. And so, like I said, he can be a guy that plays off the ball, and if they're going to disrespect him, he's going to take those shots, those wide open ones that he made. But at the same time, he understands who the guys are, who the scorers are, and I think he's embraced that role and kind of thrived in it, besides defensively what he brings every night.
A lot of whistles in this game. You guys have been pretty good defending without fouling, and I am not trying to get you in trouble. How challenging was it to manage the foul trouble across the board?
I don't know about challenging with the foul trouble. It was just adjusting to how they were calling it. They called a lot of touches early in the game, and on both teams it was even 9-9 in the first half, and I think one team had one more at halftime. And so, both teams were complaining about the close calls, and then they let it go late, and we were still complaining about the no calls. And so it was a little bit of both ways, but I told our guys, especially in the foul trouble and the early bonuses, we got to play better, obviously, and adjust to how the refs are calling it. And they're calling it tight early, and we did a better job, more so in the second half. Just fouled shooters too many times, though.
You talked about the guys were rushed out there. They looked like they were playing fast for a while. Is there anything about a game like this with this kind of finish that can kind of calm them down? Like you went through it, you got away with it. Now, is there somewhere in that kind of like crazy finish where you can say, okay, now we can calm down and play our normal game in game two?
Yeah, I mean, when you take a look back at all the easy shots missed, the layups, especially in transition, that kind of fueled their break. But I thought we played much better in the third quarter. That 35-24 quarter, it felt like we just came out with a better pace and purpose in the third quarter offensively. And then the poor start kind of got us behind the eight ball in the fourth, but we battled back and made some of the right plays. But I think overall it did feel rushed at times tonight, and we can obviously clean that up, take a deep breath, and come back and play a better offensive game, even though we scored 115.
When Kyrie was open for the three, and you called a timeout, and guys were kind of yapping at each other for who left them open, what was said during that timeout? And then also, you guys are almost down 10. If Dragic hits that three, it's an 8-point lead. I mean, what made the comeback? What generated that? What happened?
With regards to the shot, like I said, we had some miscommunication and poor rotations. We want to do certain things, and we weren't on point rotation-wise on that play specifically. So we just cleaned that up. Something we had plenty of days to work on, so that should be, second nature by now. And regarding that, when a guy's on a hot streak like that, we're going to make other guys beat us. And so it worked out on that one. We've seen it at times this year with Miami and Dallas going after JT, and we miss a few shots, open shots, and lose a game. But he made the right play on that play, and Dragic happened to miss it. And so that's what you're going to live with at times, especially when a guy's as hot as he was and going for 39.
Even on the final play, Kyrie was so hot, you tripled him to get the ball to Durant. And then, he was off, but it seemed like it was the right move.
To me, he didn't want to get off the ball. He kept trying to, kind of exhaust all his opportunities, got stuck in pump fake. And at the Durant play, the others are the ones we want to make beat us, not Durant, obviously. And JT was there and contested it great, so it wasn't like it was a swing to Durant wide open. Like I said, he didn't really want to get off the ball, and so fortunately, JT was on Durant, contested it well, and we had a chance to run. So, like I said, when he's cooking that much, we're going to try to get it out of his hands, and it worked for us today.
Jalen, not just the last play, but it seemed like he was getting downhill attacking, especially in that fourth quarter, I guess. What did you see out of kind of his whole fourth quarter, especially after that slow start?
Yeah, I think it was good. Some of the plays we ran for Jason, they felt like their smaller guards kind of climbed up in him a little on the perimeter, and Jalen has that extra burst and physicality on his drives where when they do that, he can attack, and he did it on the play with Bruce Brown. But anytime we can get him in space, he likes to see the court in front of him and less bodies. He's going to be aggressive attacking, and he did that on the play. He made the layup on Brown, and then obviously on the last play as well when he drew the crowd. So got to do a better job of creating that space for him. Like I said, I felt if guys were a little rusty off their game a little bit, and hopefully we'll come back better Wednesday offensively.